Hey, we're live. What's up, everyone? This is Jeremy, founder of quickmail.io.
Hey, this is Jack from emailsthatsell.com.
Awesome. Today?
We got some teardowns. And if you're listening to the podcast, you'll be happy to know you can also check this out on good old YouTube. We're recording some
Cool.
videos to go along with the conversation and the teardown. So it should be a little bit more informational. No
Yeah.
editing either. So it's live and ugly. So let's do it.
Yeah, no content editor to make it sound smart. But we figured out like YouTube's going to be a great thing for the teardown because we'll be able to highlight some of the section. And today we also have, so we have like 3 emails. We got one I received from Content Bulb. I'm not going to spoil it. One from submitted by a listener of the podcast, which is awesome. You guys can still do it. Send an email at podcast@quickmail.io. And then another one from Appsumo. Is it as good as the first Appsumo teardown we've done? Well, you need to stay tuned and then we'll let you know.
That's right. So let's start with the first one. I'll go ahead and give it a read through and then we'll give it a teardown. So subject line, help with blog content, ? Hi, Jeremy. Just watched a past video with you from the Bootstrap Software Summit where you shared stories on early growth at QuickMail. Thanks for being so transparent with the early emails you sent. Thought you might find it interesting how we helped 3x traffic in 6 months for a SaaS company similar to QuickMail. I help SaaS companies get more traffic leads and customers by researching and writing engaging, search-friendly blog content. Sounds interesting? ? Thanks. Name PS. Hope the email backlog isn't too bad now that getting on a plane isn't happening as often. You're going to have to explain to the viewers / listeners what the hell that PS is.
The PS is actually awesome. Basically, and I'm not even sure how he got that damn thing, but basically, when I do long hauls, like, I'm going to my favorite country, Japan, I basically spend all my time to answer all my backlog of emails. But nowadays, there's COVID, so I'm not flying nearly as much anymore. So I thought that was like pretty dope.
Yeah. Okay, so in other words, that's some personalization that applies to no one else on the planet but Jeremy,
Ninja.
probably.
Yeah,
Ninja.
yeah,
Okay.
kick-ass personalization. I'm thinking actually he could probably have put it first, like as an intro, something around those lines, because they just watch whatever. It's kind of overused in a sense. Like, hey, I watch your content. Thanks for whatever kind of piece of nugget, and then move on. I think this
Interesting.
is kind of played out.
Right. Okay, fair enough. So let's see here. Um, so this sentence, though, it may be a little bit tired, but it did get you to read the second line. Is there anything they could have done besides swapping the PS to make this intro a little bit more appealing to you?
I think I read the just watch whatever. And then I say, okay, he's referencing some content. And then I jump to the next section straight away. I actually didn't read the rest. I came back and reread, what he actually did. I think the PS actually kind of like got me in the end.
I wonder, would it have helped Jeremy if he just would have said this?
Nah.
No.
No. Thanks for being so transparent with the early email you sent at QuickMail. Yeah, maybe if it says at quickmail.io, and yeah, I think that works too. But it's really at this stage, I think it's just like rephrasing the thing. The idea is there. It's like reference, part of the content that person submitted and, give a genuine compliment. I think that's what we've been advocating for quite some time.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So you were hooked at least some personalization, lame though it may have been. Let's talk about this next sentence. Thought you might find it interesting how we helped 3x traffic in 6 months for a SaaS company similar to QuickMail. What did you like or dislike about this line?
I did find it interesting because basically that's what I was trying to do at this stage. I was trying to look at content. So I felt like, okay, 3 times traffic, I'm in 6 months. that guy is, is bold. And I thought like,
Right.
especially for SaaS, which is, my type of business. So I thought like that was pretty well researched and targeted. So now it got my
Yeah.
attention. It's like, okay, it's a genuine offer, or, someone who actually actively seek out to
Yeah.
interact with me.
See, I read this, and I don't have the same topic top of mind as you in terms of growing SaaS traffic, but think about uh, this improvement here. So I'm looking at first of all, if anybody says for a SaaS company similar to QuickMail, I don't really believe them. I want to know what makes you think it is similar to QuickMail. So what I would do here instead is write for B2B SaaS company similar to QuickMail. Okay, now maybe this is somebody really was careful about the way they built this list.
Okay.
And as an aside, uh, if you have multiple case studies within the SaaS community, why not just append this more detailed filters such as B2B for the different segments you have. So you may have, I don't know, if you have a B2B SaaS client that you 3x traffic for and a B2C SaaS client that you 3x traffic for, you could just swap out this B2B and with the appropriate person, and it's just a little bit more believable. Because I think everybody's trying to say I work with similar people, but it's only when you actually get down to it that I actually trust them. So the
So
last thing that I might
sorry, I didn't get that, Jack. So instead of B2B, what would you actually then
check it
put,
out.
like, as an example?
So assuming there are case studies to back this up, I would have a merge
Oh,
tag
yeah,
that is
yeah,
either
sure.
B2B or B2C. No big
Yeah,
deal,
yeah.
you
Makes
know?
sense.
And it's just to make it that much more believable. And then I would say here, let's do a meaningful mini case study. Look, 3x traffic in 6 months, great. I really do like it. I'd be curious if they added here in parentheses, 1.5K
Yeah, yeah.
per
Because you
month
can 3x,
to
if you had only one visitor, then, getting three
right.
is not that hard.
That's what. So I kind of want to see the numbers more than 3x, but I'm being nitpicky here. He did a good job.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so too.
Um, okay. I'm going to stand by this B2B or B2C thing to make it a little bit
It's always
edgier.
nice, to mention, more similarities, and the more you actually put, the more believable that's going to be, right?
Yeah. I mean, we have campaigns going out that like use this exact thing where it's kind of just saying it's specifically for companies like, and then we'll just go and find a certain set of criteria that helps us indicate that they're a good fit, but it's really only for them. So I know this stuff works. The more somebody believes that this email would not work for many people in your space, the better. Right. So,
Mm.
okay. Anything else here before moving on?
No, I liked it.
Okay. So then here we go. I help SaaS companies get more traffic leads and customers by researching and writing engaging search-friendly blog content.
Fine, I'm producing content, basically.
Right, right. What about this, Jeremy? What happens to this email?
Oh, good question. So removing directly the section altogether. Okay, thought you might be interested. We help. That's interesting. I think it missed something. It misses something, like the how. How do you actually generate 3x, traffic in 6 months? That's fine, but I still want to know what's your tool. Are you using a hammer? A screwdriver?
Right.
I mean, what are
Yeah,
you
he could be
using?
PPC, and if that's the case, he may
Yeah,
have lost you,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Good
Totally.
point. Okay.
Totally. Yeah, yeah.
So
It's a
cool.
very great point. That's exactly why, because this is exactly what I was looking at this moment. I was looking for more content. Yeah.
Right.
And so the
Okay.
engaging
Okay.
and friendly blog content, actually, I liked. Even though it's
Yeah.
super vague, that's exactly what I was searching for. Yeah.
Okay. So this individual happened to have two things going on that helped his, let's say, your reaction to this email. The first thing was it was a topic that you find worthy of exploring, and number two,
I was
there
exploring
was
even.
timing
Yeah.
was perfect for attention.
Timing
Okay.
was, super perfect. It would have still worked, but it is interesting because when we say timing is perfect, it doesn't necessarily mean it's like, it's like in one day, right there, right now. it is actually a topic that would have still be perfect for 3 weeks. Because now, not interested anymore. I got 2 agencies working for me. So I'm good. I'm settled.
Yeah.
And so the next window of opportunity is going to be probably like in 3-6 months. But if he had contacted me 3 weeks before or 2 weeks after the email, it will still have been okay. The window of opportunity didn't shut down on one day. It's not like the solar eclipse, coming in for like, you got 15 minutes and then that's it. And then you need to wait 60 years. So I think in this case, the timing was perfect because it was in my quarter, my focus for the quarter, basically.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah.
Sorry, and the last thing I actually want to say about the PS, like, the PS I had to explain to you, I didn't get that initially. And I say, what the hell does he actually say? Or what does he actually, and then it struck me and I was like, holy hell, that's research, it's like, I wouldn't have, I was like, oh, wow. Where did he get this information from?
Was it creepy?
Yeah, it is a little bit of that. Not too much, because this is something that I've been basically when I actually go into a plane, I reply to people, and sometimes it's a month, 2 months, 3 months old, and they'll say like, "Hey, I'm on my long haul to Tokyo right now, so I'm going through all my backlog," and then it's basically almost like a copy paste line that I have in my clipboard, and every time I reply to one of those emails, I put it on. So if you ever interacted with me and received one of those, emails 3 months down the line, you know what I mean. But I didn't recall communicating that with him. So, but I thought like I may have, mentioned it somewhere. It's just like, I don't know where. So it wasn't that creepy. If he said like, things about my kids or stuff like that, I'd be like more like, whoa, that's not okay.
Yeah. You know what? So I'm interested if you can comment on this, but part of me, when you're talking about this kind of research for a prospect, it positions the writer as some kind of just out of school person living in a basement who has all the damn time in the world to learn
Or he's already a
everything
fan of
about.
what you're doing.
Yeah, but I'm skeptical when I'm like, okay, show me some trust building, some credibility, some authority that you've built up around this topic, or else I'm just going to assume like you got nothing better going on during the day than to research the shit out of customers and prospects. And I don't know if it backfires.
So I think it's a fantastic point that you're saying. And I think for maybe most of the case, you're absolutely right. My thinking at this stage was more, he must have watched one of my content. I didn't think like, he watched everything, but he must have watched one of my content that referenced this. And so I didn't know which one. But you're right. It could be interpreted that way.
At the same time, one of the sales VPs we've interviewed says, go as deep as you possibly can because we need things that are going to stand out. He even got a reply that was like, look, you dug up my YouTube channel's softball game from 2005 and you said,
yes, I remember
good
that
hit
one.
or something. We'll talk. So, okay. I may be alone in that it may not be backfiring. This is the only thing I think we need to hammer down before we continue.
That's right.
CTA, I'm not in love with. At this point, to me, it just doesn't follow. Like, sounds interesting. It's like, does it sound interesting to hear more about the case study or to hear this results being applied to QuickMail? I mean, I kind of think it was afraid to just ask what it wanted to ask.
That does make sense. What would you have preferred for this one? Yeah, it's a priority for this quarter, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. So is increasing your traffic and lead a priority for this quarter or something that capture you?
Even that's, on your radar.
Yeah, it's on your radar. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Something like this, I think, is a little bit more direct, yet still
it's clear.
effective. Let me write another one here. Gosh, I'm tempted to say like, happy
Are
to
you
share.
free next Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, potentially, but still a little bit early for that
prefer
kind of
this
ask.
one. Yeah.
Which one?
I would
Yeah,
prefer
okay,
your
fair enough.
one rather than are you free next Tuesday? It's like, dude, you're
No,
asking
yeah,
me to marry you. I'm not, I didn't even signal I'm interested.
fair enough.
I guess, hey, Jack, I
Cool.
want to get your take on that. Don't you think it now becomes like more and more needy? Those emails where they just ask you like some time, like next Tuesday or next Wednesday or next week or
So
some stuff.
yeah, interesting. So we do multi-channel at my agency, and the rule is if we're messaging people on LinkedIn, we go straight to the phone call. Like every message is like, "How's next week looking?" or "When can we set up?" And it works. It works
Mm.
on LinkedIn, and it does not work on email.
Yeah,
So
that's what I was about to say. Is like I can understand why it would be working on LinkedIn, but I don't see that working on email.
I agree. Yeah. So
Mm-mm.
so on LinkedIn we go for the call, and on email we go for the conversation, and then
Yeah,
schedule the
that
call
makes
later.
total sense. It's a great thing as well. I presume as well that when you're going through LinkedIn, you're actually not doing that in the request invite. So first they need to say yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
there you
No,
go. It's like they signal their interest by just accepting your invite.
good
So
point.
then it's fine to just say like, hey, can we call?
Very good point. And this blew my mind, but it happens every now and then. Like, there's always going to be a percentage of prospects out there that are very much ready to act and make a buying decision right now. I call those the one percenters, and because it's about 1 out of 100, you can say anything, and if it's topical, they'll go for it. We sent out a LinkedIn invite message yesterday that was just like, "Hey, would like to connect." Very what you would expect from a good, nicely written, personal kind of invite message. And then they just wrote back, "Hey, I read through your profile. This is exactly what we need. I'd like to, kind of get started on something if you're available next quarter." It's amazing. So the idea is like simply getting in front of the right person. Sometimes is all it takes. But with that, I think we did a good job with this email.
All right,
Anything
let's
else?
move on. No, I think I like
Good on
it.
it.
I actually replied yes, and I know I think I replied directly with my Calendly link. So
Well,
that was a good
that'll
reply.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun to get those kinds of replies back. So this next email is from a listener. Shout out to Jason,
Yep.
founder of Dead Soxy. What's up, Jason? Jason used a couple subject lines: Dead Soxy plus company collab. For example, Dead Soxy plus Warner Music collab. Okay, cool. Nothing to add there.
The
Should
funny thing is,
be.
I like this sort of like variation, like putting the company first and then the other one. I will,
I
yeah.
don't know what you're going to learn from that, Jason, but it's cool for variety, and we're
True.
always a fan of mixing up variety. Okay, sweet.
That's true.
Um, hey, Jim, no problem. My name is Jason and I own Dead Soxy. Fellas, ladies, we're going to just kill that, right?
I agree.
Okay,
But
so
I'm
let's try
wondering if
that.
we should kill the next one. Please forgive my cold email.
Email, but I'd love to collab on some cool Clean Slate custom socks. So I think Clean Slate is the prospect company. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We're just going to do a read through. Have you considered adding socks to the company swag? Question mark. Custom socks only make sense if people actually wear them. We've built Dead Soxy brand around producing ultra premium socks people love to wear. I read a stat a few months ago that said, quote, on average, people wear their favorite sock about 1.8 times a week, end quote. If that's true, socks aren't just a strong marketing play, but they could also be a great tool to rally the team and build company culture. Take a look at a few recent collabs, and then 5 links to
Yeah,
some
we haven't got Toyota
pretty,
and WeWork. Yeah, those
yeah,
big
some
names.
big names,
But
publicly
everyone needs to
traded.
wear socks, right?
All right, the email finishes. If this isn't in your wheelhouse, I'll be grateful if you could point me in the right direction. Here's a link to my LinkedIn profile. I would love to connect. Thanks for your time. Talk soon. All right, I know what I'm going to tell Jason.
Yeah, Jason, now you're not like a long time listener. There's no call to action here. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay,
All
but let's
right.
start from the top. Start
Yeah.
from the top. So we already deleted. Hey, my name is Jason, and I own company. Doesn't add something to the email,
No,
and we're
maybe.
fighting for every word. Maybe.
Yeah, I do agree. We're fighting for every word, especially the first few ones. I'm wondering if at some point this actually makes sense that he's mentioning the owner, and if you're addressing another
Hmm.
owner, then you build a bridge of likeness. If
Great
you're
point.
not, then I think it doesn't, add much value. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it absolutely does. But gosh, the way it's set up,
Yeah, no, I
I
agree.
mean, if he's going after companies like WeWork and Toyota and American Heart
Yeah, you're not going
Association,
to you're not
yeah,
going to
and if
email the
not,
founder.
yeah,
You're
talking
right.
about list building, if you're not going after companies like Toyota, like why not target um, Lexus, which is owned by Toyota? Why not target, I don't know, very similar
Porsche,
Mitsubishi,
yeah,
yeah,
other stuff.
or other Japanese car makers. Like maybe that's an even better place to start. But that's fine. I
Agreed.
will kill this. So please forgive my cold email. You know what? If you're apologizing for sending something, you probably wrote something that you're ashamed of at some level. Why
That's
why
right.
apologize for a cold email? If this is going to help somebody build company culture, why would you apologize? That's crazy. Like
Yeah.
it so it I don't know, it sets this conversation up to me on the wrong foot, as if
I make you a favor
this
by
is,
reading it, right?
yeah,
I should be
okay.
thrilled to receive your email. I should be thinking like, fuck, well, I should not say F word, but I should be thinking, this is the best thing, I've received in a week. I'm so happy and so glad that person sent it. So obviously,
Right.
if we start with, please forgive me for, cluttering your inbox, it's just what we're going to think.
Yeah,
You're cluttering my inbox.
but perhaps, I mean, maybe you use that on like a final fifth touch message, like, hey, come on, I know it's been a while, I've been trying to get your ear, but but on the first email, not needed. So Jeremy, question for you. You know what I think is kind of helpful is this right here. I'd love to collab on some cool clean slate stocks. And by the way, we have to be mindful that the subject line says collab. So by the subject line contract with this prospect, if they open it, they should see a word about collaboration. Okay, so
Yeah, I'm thinking. Okay, I'm gonna play along and go with this sort of strategy and angle about like, hey, we're collaborating into creating custom socks and so on. But I'm wondering, I want to know like who we're targeting, because depending on who we're targeting, we could also have different strategies. It could be people responsible for swags, and you can actually position your product as like
right,
something that is pretty innovative, or not something that is very often thought of yet.
yeah,
We got big brand like Toyota and WeWork that actually find it's really super, and then you put like that sort of like mini case study about like,
right.
on average, employees actually do spend more time with us. I don't know, whatever you actually want to put. But I'm not fan of the strategy here. It may work, but I,
What?
you know, I'm,
Let's be
I'm not.
specific. What are you not a
Yeah,
fan of? Can you highlight
I'm
it?
not a fan of this strategy, which is like basically showing some stats about things you've read and just saying like, hey, this is what we're offering as a swag. Some people are using it. Is that something you would consider? I'm not a fan of that. I prefer to have a strategy that says we're going to provide something that is fun or innovative because you don't have enough ideas of what to offer to your employees, or rather, maybe doing like a Christmas strategy, or like Thanksgiving, whatever, when people could actually offer that to their, but link it to something rather than just something very generic, right?
Okay, so something that comes to mind,
Because it's
Jeremy,
socks,
is
it's not t-shirts. I mean, this could be like, you could change socks by t-shirts. It doesn't really bring much things. You could even say like, people on average wear their favorite shirts 1.8 times a week. It's just like, you should highlight the fact that this is socks and this is fun, or something else, right? And I think that's what is
yeah.
missing here, like playing along fully with your item and then going the extra length for it. Like, you want socks that, if you're targeting like sports, companies, just say your socks last longer than, whatever, or like some stuff. But yeah, so I
Yeah,
think it's too
good
generic.
point.
That's the point that bothers me.
I love that. Okay. Okay, so in other words, if we're going after companies like Toyota,
Okay.
they for sure have a marketing brand person in this, tens of thousands sized company that is in charge of swag. You could probably find those people that, mention like, let's say, um, trade show
Yes.
materials or something like this. So for the purpose of the teardown, let's take that approach. Maybe we can give this a
Yeah.
little bit more direction here and
Sure.
shorten it. And let me start with the easy stuff here. So here's a link to my LinkedIn profile. I would love to connect. Needs to be deleted. Um, there's just too much stuff going on. I don't
Yeah. Do you
hate
want to
that
connect, or do you
idea.
want to have a conversation, or what is it? What
Yeah.
the call to action here? We're not quite sure.
Also, I don't like asking if this is in your wheelhouse because it tells me, Jason, you can probably do a little bit
Better
more
targeting.
careful target. I mean, look, I appreciate that if you're going after Toyota, they've got 300 marketing types.
Mm.
But I don't think it's appropriate for the very first email. I'd add this later. Jeremy, would you agree?
Totally.
Okay.
I
Thanks for
think,
your
starting with just like, hey, have you considered, having, socks as swags? I mean, I know it may sound funny, but we have like really serious brands that are using it, like WeWork, Toyota, and whatever, and so on and so on. And here's what they're saying, you know, blah blah blah, and that could be like, probably the best swag we didn't think of, or something like that. And then like, is that
right.
something you would consider at your company? I don't know.
That's cool.
That would
Brands
be like a
like,
small like mini campaign kind of approach, and it may totally bomb. That's fine, but at least is got some strategy behind it, not too generic.
correct. That's why I like that a lot. Brands like have
Yeah,
used,
exactly. So I will use like
custom.
the odd thing, like not the thing that most people think of, and yet here's why you should consider it. That's the sort of thing. Boost morale.
Whatever, something like this. To me, sounds like a little bit of an
Oh, while working
improvement. What
from
do you
home
think?
in those hard times.
That's right. That's right.
Love it.
All right. So that case, that takes care of this list. Take a few look at some recent collabs. I would delete it. Um, Jason, there was a cool case study that somebody did selling T-shirts for brands, and what they did was they just grabbed the logo and dropped
Yeah.
it on T-shirts with an image programmatically, right? And
Yeah. I remember.
that seems to work well. You could probably, instead of dropping like so many case studies, the next email could just have an image with that company logo on it on the sock. Something could be worth testing there. Um, Jeremy, what would you keep here? I'm curious. I want to see you do some edits on these
I did.
lines.
I just removed the first few lines. I think it didn't add
Perfect.
anything. So I
Okay.
think like, this is collaboration may actually be maybe a different word, but fair enough. So, hey Jim, have you considered adding socks to the company swags? Question mark. It may sound funny, but brands like, and then blah blah blah, have used socks to whatever. So in your case, your benefit, Jack, of having great socks is to boost morale while teams are working from home. That's awesome.
Right. Right.
All right, what else do I have? Custom
I
socks
want to
only makes
cut. I want to
sense.
kill the line that says the stat about 8
Well,
times a week.
you know what? I don't mind about the stats, and even I don't think it adds much. It's like, is the goal of me offering swag to my employees that they wear it more? It's like, I don't care if they wear it, honestly. All I care about is that it has an impact, whether they find it fun, so it's like a humorous moment, or the morale is boost, or they love how innovative we are with swags and stuff like that, or they offer it
Right.
to people because we gave them like, $5, whatever. But I'd like something more than they wear it more. It's just like, it's
Good
not a
point.
great benefit, I
Yeah.
think, for someone who actually creates swags. Or maybe if this is a benefit that you want to highlight, you could say like, most of the swags are, last 10 seconds before they hit the trash bin.
Right.
Right.
Very
And then in
true.
this case, that's cool. Then you can say like, but with socks, fully enough, people wear it, more often. In fact, and then whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
specific. Yeah. And that's, to be honest, I think this is why this teardown is a little bit trickier than most, because we're having to say, okay, which is the persona that we're writing for? Okay, then this is garbage. And then with that, what do they care about? That okay, then needs to be deleted. So I'm kind of thinking I borrowed this rally the team and build culture while teams working from home from this line. So that said, I agree they don't care about how often they wear it. It's just about building culture and sort of morale.
Unless they've been giving shit for, you know, their swags that no one uses, you know,
Right.
that is fine. Like, you know,
So
a
let me show
teddy
you.
bear, whatever, or some stuff that people don't care, or a cap that no one wear, or some stuff like that, right?
Right. So here's the, let's say, call to action that I would suggest for this particular campaign if I'm going after, you know, enterprise companies. Let's say, Jim, I've
How many do you
got
want?
yeah, I've got a few socks
Oh, yes. Yes, I love
to
what you're going.
send your way. Should I've oh, how about this? I've set aside a few socks for, should
Yes.
I send the, you know, I don't know, company team a few pairs on us?
Yep. And that reminds me a company that actually did super well by starting just offering food. You know, it was like some
Jerky,
subscription for food.
jerky.
Yeah, or jerky, or I can't remember exactly, but
It
yeah,
was
that
a
was something
snack
like that.
box a month. It was, we're
Yes,
going to send you some free site. I think it was a teardown we did,
I think
gosh,
it could
maybe a
have
year
been.
ago.
Yeah, yeah, it could have been. And I think I like this. And I think we both like this. It's like provide some value up front,
Especially
right?
if you're selling socks, right? This is like a unique advantage you have that others don't, you know. Whatever it costs to get them a pair, just do some numbers and see if the conversions work out in your favor. But okay, Jason, thank you for submitting this. Look, I know you submitted this to learn and to get better, and we don't pull punches, and we thank you for listening.
Dude,
Let
that
us
was
know
cool.
if you test this variation. Yeah. All right, last one.
So the Appsumo, I received a second Appsumo one, and I wanted to get your take. I got my opinions, of course, like always, but I wanted to get your take as to is it better or not than the first one. And for as a
Yeah.
reminder, then we got it on called outreachtemplates.com, and you can see actually both because I put the second one here as well. But the first one was, you know, promote quick mail to 850,000 entrepreneurs. And now we got a second one, which is swap right on AppSumo with a little emoji.
So let me understand. You did reply to the first AppSumo message, right?
I did, and I received another one. You know, look at me.
What kind of, so it's weird to me to send somebody who already replied another cold email with the same offer. Is that weird to you?
You're right. Now you're saying it. I really usually don't mind because I put stuff into my, you know, cold email, you know, swap folder, and I'm actually pretty pleased when I receive some that are worth
Yeah.
talking about, which is not always the case. And you're right. Now you're saying it. I'm like, you're right. They ignored me.
Right.
It's a different team member. So maybe they're just recycling their list. At least I didn't say unsubscribe. So I guess that's probably why.
Still, there's a conversation on list maintenance that we may want to have in the future
That's a good,
because
yeah, that'll
I
be a good
wouldn't have
cast.
done that. Okay, so let's read it without further ado. Subject, swipe right on AppSumo with an emoji and a guy's arm holding a phone. Greetings, Jeremy. We're scouting for dope tools to showcase in our selective SaaS marketplace, and we'd love to have our 850,000 plus customers swiping right on you. Parentheses, all in bold. Wow, that's a lot of swipes. Okay, so they might not be swiping, but they will be purchasing your tool to help make their business grow. And isn't that just awesome? Exclamation point. AppSumo customers are top of funnel users to become lifelong customers. And not only that, your tool would be listed on a credible site that has helped companies generate 100 to 300K plus revenue in only 2 months, all in caps. We'd love to see about what we can do about creating a partnership. Interested? Question mark. Best. PS, have you checked this out? Emoji of stars. Why launch a product on AppSumo? question mark with a link. Chill out, Appsumo. It's a lot of caps and exclamation points. I'll just say never have an exclamation point in a cold email. It's not good for deliverability, and I can't imagine a single email that actually needed it. So
Yeah.
blanket statement, just don't put an
It's your
exclamation
first
point.
email
Also,
to me, dude. You can't be that excited.
yeah. Also, but let's take it to the top. Emoji in a subject line. I know subject lines are debatable on how much deliverability or open rates impact, but
You know the funny thing, Jack?
emoji.
I didn't get the subject line because I'm happily married for like almost
Oh
like
yeah,
15 years or whatever, and I didn't even get
right.
what they actually meant. Swap right on Appsumo. I was like, what does that mean?
Yeah,
I
good
was
point.
like, I didn't really know what that
It's a
was,
Tinder
and
reference or something, right?
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is that honestly, if it came from someone else on Appsumo, trash bin. It's like I thought like that was be spam.
If it said swipe right on quick mail, for example.
Oh, well, I wouldn't get necessarily. Well, now I would be, but on the spur of the moment when I was looking at all my email, I didn't understand. But if it had like swipe right on quick mail, I was like, oh, what? And then I still wouldn't understand, but at least there will be quick mail, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Which is
could I
what we
tell you
say
the sound?
actually. Add the name of the company gets a little bit more chances of.
There's some curiosity built in on
Yeah,
the swipe right thing. Although it's not, it's a bit jargony because not everybody gets it, as you
that's
mentioned.
right.
And
That's
to
a
me, I had to
jargon.
think about it too.
Yeah, shame on
All
me for
right.
not getting it.
Also, no, it's okay, man. I'm in the same boat with you. Greetings, Jeremy. Boy, do I hate greetings because it reminds me of, I don't know, early 2000s junk mail.
Oh,
Greetings.
I agree with you. At the same time, I was like, oh, that's different, and I don't mind being some different things these
Yeah.
days because they all are so boilerplate. That's really annoying. But anyway,
Cool. All right. So
I
a
got your
different
point.
greeting works. That's cool. All right. Scouting for dope tools to showcase in our selective SaaS marketplace. And we'd love to have swiping running. Yeah. I mean,
I
it's not
still
as
didn't get it at
compelling.
this point. I
Yeah.
was like,
Wow. That's a lot
what
of
the fuck
swipes.
are they talking about?
I,
Like swiping on me?
yeah, it's as if, um, and I guess this is a bash, but it sounds like the person who wrote this has a background in like maybe entertainment writing, or they just took their blog author and had him
Oh,
write a
they
cold
have no
email that
luck
was
in
like kind
love.
of catchy. Yeah, maybe. I mean, so anyways,
But
first
here's the
edit,
interesting thing.
I'm
Look, it
deleting
says,
wow.
yeah, of course. But it says like, swiping right on you. So quick mail. But then here, the subject line is swiping right on Appsumo. So they're starting, technically now I get their metaphor. It means like the subject line is all about them, right? But fair
Which
enough.
works in their favor because they have brand awareness.
That's right. That's the only reason why I read it, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So look at the suggestion here. We're scouting for dope tools showcase in our selected marketplace. We'd love to have our 850,000 customers swiping right on you. Look, yeah, it's too jargony. I would never put this down. It may work for some, but customers,
Or maybe it's a youngster who actually wrote this email.
yeah.
And
Okay, but we
we're
have
two
to
old
leave it.
farts, Jack.
It could be, yeah. So let's leave this for now because it's critical to the subject line being in place. And there's something interesting going on with this number here, 850 customers.
Sure.
Instead of swiping right, I would have preferred it to say, considering your tool, your cold email tool. Wow,
Well,
wouldn't
this
that
is
be
an
awesome?
interesting thing because now the next sentence, like, okay, so they might not be swiping, but they will be purchasing your tool. And it's just like suddenly they realize, okay, we can only go so far with the metaphor. So, like, why don't you just keep it then to the subject line? And then that's it. If you really want to go that sort of like jargony stuff, put it on the subject line, but don't actually try to retrofit this into your whole email and then just backpedal and then actually just say like, no, this is really what I meant. You know what I mean?
Right.
It
Yeah. I,
doesn't work for me.
I will say if I was the, I don't know, campaign manager and I read they will be purchasing your tool, I would say, hey, we can't promise that people are going to be purchasing the tool here.
Of
I,
course
I
they
wouldn't be
will.
comfortable. No offense,
Because
but I would
because
never, that's,
well, worst being worst, they buy the tool and you have like one new client, just themselves. so it doesn't flop.
Yeah. Think about this. Are we going the right direction by killing that whole sentence?
Well, how about that? Instead of 850 customers swiping right on you, purchase your tool, and then you can remove the next
Okay.
paragraph, right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Because then you just remove this whole stupid, it's all arguable, but this whole sort of like reference about swiping right and backpedaling into,
Right.
saying purchasing and just go straight. It's just
Good
like
point. Good
purchasing.
point. Okay, so what do we have next? I actually do like it's starting to flow a little bit nicer here.
I agree.
It's missing personalization. You'll
Yep.
notice the only thing they did was they just downloaded, they probably went to Crunchbase, used SAS as a filter,
Oh
used
man, I don't
maybe
know. But
not even US because you're not US. They probably worldwide SAS and
I mean, the
downloaded it and
world.
sent a message to every, you know what I mean? Like,
I
and if
do.
they did have another filter, why not say what it was?
I do. The interesting thing, let me check, because the first one I really liked, and there was no personalization either. Let me check. They say prospect first name, company name, product category, which is SaaS. So,
Dude, they
same
said
thing.
quick mail. They said quick mail. This doesn't even say quick mail.
Yeah, they say company name. Well, they did no
No, no,
swipe
no,
right
no,
on
no.
quick mail.
The current one.
Didn't they say swipe right on quick mail? Oh, no, on you. You're right. They didn't say quick mail. Boo, boo. Not even sure
Boo.
why we're doing a teardown of them here.
Yeah. Brand
Brand
awareness.
recognition.
That's all it
Yeah, that's
was.
right.
Yeah. Fair
All right.
enough. So purchase. Yeah. Wow. If this said quick mail, that's fine. That'd be even better.
Actually, yeah, let's just put quick mail instead of your tool. Even better, because hey, if this is really a dope tool, then just say the name. And
I mean, it tells you like what Appsumo uses as a filter to see what gets put on their showcase. So they'll take anything if they don't even, you know what, like
well, it's
maybe
always the
not.
top of the funnel. Maybe people are interested and they say, well, actually, come back in 3 months or whatever.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's move on. Appsumo customers at top of funnel become lifelong customers, and not only that, your tool would be on a listed on a credible site that has helped other companies in only 2 months. This is actually good. I'm just going to take the caps away and
And
remove
the
the
exclamation
exclamation.
mark. But notice that when we did the teardown on the first one, you said notice that what they didn't say, right? They didn't say that they had, generating X amount of revenue. They didn't say that, they can, on average people get that amount and how many people subscribe and stuff like that. But here they actually do, which is interesting, isn't it? It's a sort of like mini case study. So they think like they really need to convince me now because I said no to their first email, maybe.
Yeah. What else would help here? That has helped,
Well, I'm even wondering if
58
this is
other
needed.
companies.
What if you ask this whole stuff? Where is it? Like this? Damn, I don't recall how to actually just drive through. But what if
Do
you asked?
Command Shift X.
Oh, it's the X. No, it's not the X. Damn it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But
I'll do it.
would that actually change much if we axe it?
Good point. Let me read through again. Yeah, with scouting for dope tools,
That could be the
and we'd
follow-up.
love to have, we'd love to see what we could do about creating a partnership. Man, if they would have put this since sales automation is hot right now.
Oh man, that's cool.
Yeah. And in that, if they did that, then yeah, kill that and add the mini case study to the second follow-up.
I agree. That should be a follow-up. Like if people are still
Okay,
not
cool.
convinced, let them know that, hey, on average, this is how much revenue we make, people make, by going with us.
Yeah. And look, if you're able to get more specific, how many companies made more than 100K with you guys this year in 2020? If it's impressive, just drop it in there because it's it's a battle to get their reply, and so don't leave anything off the table here, or excuse me, on the table. Fair enough.
I like
Okay,
it.
so what do we have going on?
Yeah, the
Interested.
CTA.
Uh, I don't hate it, but I don't think it's the best one on earth.
It's very close to the first teardown that we done. Like, it is very
Yeah.
general. Interested in what? Knowing more, or interested in actually going partnership, or interested in, So,
Um,
interested in starting next month, or actually, no, I don't know, but maybe put some timing as to, interested in generating some cash for, Q1 next year.
yeah, that's really good. That's really good. So it's like interested in, I don't know, maybe
An extra,
in
an extra, you know,
revenue stream,
yeah, or even like, extra
growth channel.
users.
How about interested in exploring uh, a, a new growth channel sometime for, I don't know, Q4 or
I prefer revenue than exploring growth channel.
so here, rewrite it.
Yeah, I mean that was great. Exploring interested in making more revenues in Q4 this year. Boom.
Perfect. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that.
Although I read this and it's like, who wouldn't?
Exactly.
Uh, right.
It's just like, who wouldn't, right?
Fair enough. Okay, cool. So let's explore the PS and then we're done. Have you checked this out? Question mark. Why launch a product on Appsumo with a link? Very interested to get your take on that, Jeremy.
Gut feelings, hate it. But at the second point, it's like, who wouldn't click on it if we had the email we just rewrote? Like, I want to know more. Like, but that would be like, how would that work? I would say instead of why, because it's obvious the why. It's like, I'm gonna make more money. So the how or what is needed, or see if you qualify even, may actually be more interesting. Because then in this case, I will be curious into knowing, how they are doing it, or what I need to actually do. And I think it will be too much into an email. So the PS could be like, check out the only thing that, um, uh, the only thing we're asking the founder to provide, or the only thing we're asking the team to do in order to qualify, or some stuff like that, or vetting process. Or actually vetting should probably be done because you say it's a dope tool. So, or qualifying process, or some stuff that makes, I can check and say, well, I can provide a logo, I can provide that, or, that's a sort of like simple, easy step. And then I can
Yeah,
contact,
that's a little bit why I don't like the CTA, or why it sits a little bit weird with me. Is like I would prefer it to say something like they're promising a lot, and it's easy for them to sort of come across as like, um, especially for someone who doesn't know the brand, maybe they're like, yeah, right, or I don't buy it. Um,
okay.
so I wonder if it's like interested in
Oh,
seeing if
past customers. Here's a list
past
of,
customers.
the past customers, or, this month or this year or whatever, like giving
Cool, cool,
them
cool.
credibility. So that way that will be like, credibility for people who don't know them.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's good.
850,000, plus customers, I think this is a good
It's
credibility.
already said, right? Yeah, to me, I would move this into another email, and instead of ask the person to click a link, just get the goods from that link and actually just put it in a one-liner,
If this,
right?
yeah, let me check. I'm sharing my screen so you could see as well.
Yeah.
So, oh man. Okay, that's not too long.
Who's it for? Look at this testimonial. This I would probably use somewhere.
Well, those are testimonials. Yeah. I don't have a picture of
Yeah, look at that.
someone.
The amount of exposure we got. There's just no way we could have ever been able to pay for that founder of company. Yeah, that's amazing. I would absolutely include
Man,
that
there's
in the
so much
message.
like content to do like easy follow-ups, you know.
Yeah, they're in a good position for this,
Yeah, for sure.
but
They got
probably not giving it
they
their
got the
highest
results.
priority.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All
Fair
right.
enough. Cool. Cool. I think we did
So shall we just
some
nuke it
quality
and just
teardown
say
here.
like add it, add something like that as a follow-up?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well, don't stripe right. If we didn't go for jargon, what would we do? I guess another
I would
subject.
absolutely include Appsumo. And I would
Um,
say, how about this?
oh,
Yeah, I have to use Appsumo because like we keep mentioning how important their brand. Ooh, that's good.
if they know it, otherwise I say, are you ready to triple your customer base? Like, can your SaaS scale to 3x your customer base next month?
That's
And
pretty
I'll
good.
say, because this is
I
what we could
said can
probably,
quick mail.
yeah, even better. Well, why do you put QuickMail in lowercase? It's capital M, man, and capital
I
Q.
always, well, not always, but I very I very often will purposely change the way it's formatted on company databases in
Okay.
order to stand out a little bit. It's the opposite of quickmail.io incorporated or something, it's just like I'm typing this from my iPhone.
Yeah,
I
I
think
got
this
it.
is a good like way to be.
All right,
I like
and
it.
I'll probably change the greetings and say, I actually started experimenting with that, like removing
Me
the
too.
hi, like what you told me.
And I also do this, and I just it goes right. So you're
I love
listening,
it.
you're not watching. Jeremy deleted the greetings, and I removed everything, so it's literally a one line here.
So
Um,
Jeremy, we're scouting for dope tools. Yeah.
you know what's interesting? AppSumo is not mentioned anymore in this.
Well, in the signature, I
Wonder
think that's enough. Well,
AppSumo is scouting for. I wonder if that would be helpful.
no, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, because you got it already in the email address. You know it's AppSumo. You got it also in the signature.
Cool, cool, cool.
I think that's good enough. And by the way, the
Yeah.
signature, I think that was an ego trip. Signature was like super huge. You have like that huge image on the left, then you have like the big AppSumo and so on. It was like it's almost took too much space. It's like yeah, I felt slightly uncomfortable with that. It's like
Mm-hmm.
more about themselves than it is about the recipient, and I don't like that. So your recipient should be the most important thing in your email, not you. So
Man, if it wasn't a recognizable brand in the SaaS community, I would 100% agree with you there. But I think one of their biggest plays is people know them.
okay, I agree, but I don't know her. She contacted me and
It
it's like
was it was not just
no,
the
it was a
company
big
logo.
logo of her. And then after that, you had like, big things. And, I would understand if, this is a famous actor, contacting me because then it's just like, oh, I got his face and, I love his movies and stuff like that. But sorry, Mrs. S, I don't know you. So, and, anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm happy with the teardowns, Jeremy. Anything to add before we sign off for today?
No, I think that was cool,
I
man.
think we're
Good
good.
stuff as usual.
Ditto that, my co-host and cold email partner in crime. All right, man.
All right.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank.
and if you watched all the way to the end, cool. And if you happen to be on YouTube, tell us if you like this format or
just
if you
just
prefer the
just click the
podcast.
subscribe and click on the bell. We're gonna give you special stuff only if you click on the bell.
You're not
It's
gonna
just
get
what I keep on
anything.
hearing on all the YouTube stuff, so we have to say it, man. And if you're on a podcast,
Uh,
don't care, go to YouTube, click on the subscribe, click on the bell, go for it. Anyway.
that's right. All right.
All
Whatever.
right, man.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, thanks, Jack.
Cool.
Bye, everyone.